My fiancée skipped my recovery night to attend a party with her just a friend. She said I was being dramatic. I didn't argue. I quietly removed the ring from the drawer, canceled one date on the calendar. 3 months later, she showed up at my door, shaking, before she noticed what was no longer inside. I'm 34. We'd been together for 4 years, engaged for 8 months. The surgery was minor, hernia repair, outpatient, but they told me I'd need someone home the first night. She knew this. We'd discussed it 3 times. I'd written it on the calendar. I'd sent her a reminder text 2 days before. The morning of the surgery, she kissed my forehead and said she'd pick me up at 3 p.m. Her phone buzzed while she was still standing there. She looked at it, then at me, and said, "Oh, it's just him. He's back in town tonight." Him was Ethan, her college friend, the one she mentioned maybe twice a month, always casually, always as an afterthought. I'd never met him. 4 years, and I'd never met him. "That's nice," I said. "Yeah, there's this thing tonight. Just a small party, some of the old group." I remember the exact way the anesthesiologist's voice sounded later, bored, efficient. I remember waking up and immediately checking my phone, a text from her. "Running late, be there soon." She arrived at 4:30. I was sitting in the discharge waiting area with a nurse who kept glancing at the clock. My abdomen felt like it was held together with staples and hope. She apologized. Traffic. She helped me to the car. At home, she got me settled on the couch, brought me water and crackers, checked that my pain medication was on the side table. She sat with me for maybe 20 minutes. Then her phone buzzed. "So," she said, "the party's at 7. I'll probably head out around 6:30. I looked at her. She was scrolling. "Tonight?" I said. "Yeah, I told you this morning. You said there was a thing. You didn't say you were going." She looked up. "I haven't seen these people in 2 years. Ethan's only in town for the weekend." "I just had surgery." "I know, and I picked you up. You're home. You have your medication. You'll probably just sleep anyway, right?" I didn't say anything. "You're not being fair," she said. "I've been planning this." "You've been planning it since this morning?" "Don't do that. Don't twist things." I turned my head toward the TV. It wasn't on. "Are you seriously going to guilt me over this?" she said. "You're being dramatic." I heard myself say, "Go." "Thank you," she said. She kissed my cheek. She left at 6:25. I fell asleep around 8. Woke up at midnight needing to use the bathroom. It took me 4 minutes to stand up. The apartment was dark. I checked my phone. No messages. She came home at 2:40 a.m. I wasn't asleep. She didn't check on me. I heard her brush her teeth, heard the bedroom door close. The next morning, she made coffee and asked how I was feeling. I said fine. She said the party was amazing. She showed me pictures on her phone, her and Ethan and a group of people I didn't know, holding drinks, smiling. In one photo, his arm was around her shoulders. "He's exactly the same," she said. "It's like no time passed." I sipped my coffee. Over the next 2 weeks, she mentioned him 6 times. He'd texted her a funny meme. He'd sent her a song that reminded him of their college days. He was thinking about moving back to the area. I didn't ask questions. I nodded. I said, "That's nice," or "cool," or nothing at all. 3 weeks after the surgery, I was sitting at my desk, and I realized I hadn't opened the drawer in days. The engagement ring was in there. I'd taken it to get resized a month before the surgery and hadn't given it back to her yet. It was in a small black box, tucked behind some papers. I took it out, looked at it, put it back, closed the drawer. The next day, I moved it to a lockbox in my closet. I didn't tell her. The wedding was supposed to be in June. We'd set the date in February before the surgery. It was circled on the calendar in the kitchen in red marker, June 14th. There were other notes around it. Venue deposit due, send invitations, cake tasting. One afternoon, while she was at work, I took a black pen and drew a single line through June 14th. Then I sat down and made a list of things I needed to do. I didn't call it anything. It was just a list. I didn't cancel the wedding. I didn't call the venue or the caterer. I didn't tell anyone. I just stopped participating. When she brought up centerpieces, I said, whatever you think. When she asked if I'd called my uncle about officiating, I said, not yet. She got annoyed. She said I wasn't engaged in the process. I said I was busy with work. Ethan moved back to the area in late March. She told me at dinner. She was excited. It'll be so nice to have him around again, she said. They started getting coffee every couple of weeks. She always told me ahead of time. Meeting Ethan at noon. She'd text. I'd text back a thumbs up. In April, they went to a concert. She invited me. I said I had work. She asked if I was sure. I said yes. She went. She came home happy. She said it was incredible. She showed me videos on her phone, shaky footage of the band, the crowd, Ethan beside her singing along. I watched the videos. I nodded. That week, I started looking at apartments. I didn't tell her. I'd browse listings late at night after she'd gone to bed. Studio, 1 bedroom, something small. I saved a few. Reached out to a landlord. Scheduled a viewing. The viewing was on a Saturday. She thought I was at the gym. The apartment was on the 3rd floor, lots of light, hardwood floors. The landlord asked when I'd be moving in. I said I'd let him know. I didn't sign anything. I went home. That night, she was on the couch, texting and laughing. I asked who it was. She said Ethan. He'd sent her a video of a dog riding a skateboard. He has the best sense of humor, she said. I went to bed early. In May, she asked why I hadn't ordered my suit for the wedding. I said I forgot. She said the wedding was in 5 weeks. I said I'd handle it. I didn't order a suit. She asked if I'd sent the rehearsal dinner invites. I said yes. I hadn't. She asked if something was wrong. I said no. You've been distant, she said. I'm just tired. Is it work? Yeah. She hugged me. She said we'd get through it. She said June would be amazing. She said she couldn't wait to marry me. I said nothing. The first week of June, she asked to see the ring. She wanted to wear it to a bridal shower her friend was throwing. I told her I'd accidentally left it at my parents' house last time I visited. She said that was annoying but fine. I hadn't seen my parents in 2 months. June 10th, 4 days before the wedding that wasn't going to happen, I told her I needed to go to my brother's place for the night. Emergency. He needed help with something. She said okay. She said she'd miss me. She kissed me goodbye. I didn't go to my brother's. I went to a hotel. I sat on the bed and stared at the wall. I ordered room service. I didn't eat it. I came home the next morning. She was at work. I packed a bag. Not everything. Just enough. Clothes, toothbrush, laptop. I left my key on the kitchen counter. I didn't leave a note. I went to a friend's place. He didn't ask questions. I slept on his couch for 3 days. On June 14th, my phone rang 37 times. Texts came in faster than I could read them. Where are you? What is happening? People are at the venue. Please call me. I don't understand. I turned my phone off. I turned it back on 2 days later. 214 messages, 11 voicemails. I didn't listen to them. I didn't read most of the texts. I sent her one message. I can't do this. She called immediately. I didn't answer. She texted, can't do what? Talk to me, please. I didn't respond. A week later, I signed the lease on the apartment I'd viewed in April. Moved in mid-June. My friend helped. We didn't talk much. He bought pizza. I ate 1 slice. She texted me every few days for the first month, then every week. Then it stopped. In late August, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. It was her sister. She's a mess. I don't know what happened between you two, but she needs closure. Please. I didn't reply. September came. I started running in the mornings. I painted the apartment walls. I bought a plant. It died. I kept thinking about that night after the surgery. How I'd managed to get myself to the bathroom alone, gripping the walls. How I'd taken my medication in the dark because I couldn't reach the light switch without pain shooting through my side. How I'd heard her come home at 2:40 a.m. and felt relief that she was safe, followed immediately by the hollow realization that she hadn't texted once to check on me. I replayed the conversation we'd had that morning over and over, the casual way she'd said, "You'll probably just sleep anyway." Like my surgery was an inconvenience to her evening plans. Like recovery was something that happened quietly, independently, without needing anyone. Maybe that's what hurt most. Not that she went, but that she genuinely couldn't see why it mattered. My mother called in late September. She'd heard from someone. She asked if I was okay. I said yes. She asked what happened. I said I didn't want to talk about it. She said she was worried about me. I said I was fine. I wasn't fine. I was sleeping 4 hours a night. I'd lost 12 pounds. I kept my apartment obsessively clean because it was something I could control. I'd stand in the shower until the water ran cold. I'd sit at my desk and stare at my computer screen without actually working. My boss noticed, asked if everything was all right. I said yes. He didn't believe me, but he didn't push. I started going to therapy in late September. My therapist was a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and a notebook she never seemed to write in. The first session, she asked me why I was there. I said I didn't know. She said that was fine. We could figure it out together. The second session, she asked about the wedding. I told her what happened. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she asked how I felt about it. I said I didn't know. She asked if I regretted it. I said no. Then yes. Then I said I didn't know again. She nodded. That's normal. What is? Not knowing. October 3rd, Friday night. I was microwaving leftovers when I heard knocking. I opened the door. She was standing there, hair pulled back, no makeup, shaking. I need to understand, she said. I didn't move. Please, just tell me what I did. I looked at her. I thought about the surgery, the party, the coffee dates, the concert, the red circle on the calendar with a line through it, the ring in the lockbox. You didn't do anything, I said. That's not true. Something happened. You left. You disappeared. The wedding. There was no wedding. She stared at me. What does that mean? I canceled it, months ago, in my head. Why? I didn't answer. Was it Ethan? She said. Is that what this is about? Because nothing happened. Nothing has ever... I know. Then what? I stepped back. You should go. No. I came here for an answer. I don't have one you'll like. She was crying now. Try. I looked past her, into the hallway. You chose a party over me the night I needed you. You didn't even realize it. That's when I knew. Knew what? That I wasn't what you prioritized, and I didn't want to spend my life waiting to matter. She opened her mouth, closed it. It wasn't dramatic, I said. It was just true. She wiped her face. She looked at me like she was searching for something. Then her eyes shifted. Past me, into the apartment. I watched her expression change, watched her realize. The walls were different. The furniture wasn't ours. The space didn't have any of her in it. There were no photos of us, no shared memories, nothing that indicated she'd ever been part of my life. How long have you been living here? She asked quietly. Since June. Before the wedding. There was no wedding, I said again. She took a step back, then another. She looked at me one last time. Her face was pale, eyes red. She looked smaller somehow, diminished. I would have chosen differently, she whispered, if I'd known. I know, I said. And I meant it. I believed her. But that was the problem, wasn't it? She would have chosen differently if she'd known it mattered, but she shouldn't have needed to know. She should have just known. She left. I closed the door, locked it, stood there for a while. The leftovers were cold. I threw them away. I sat on the couch in the dark. My phone buzzed an hour later. A text from her. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't see it. I stared at the message. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. I didn't reply. 3 days later, another text. Can we talk, please? I turned off my phone. A week after that, flowers arrived at my door. No card. I knew they were from her. I left them in the hallway. By morning, someone had taken them. Update 1. It's been 2 months since she showed up at my door. The texts have stopped. The flowers stopped. Everything stopped. My therapist asked if that made me feel better or worse. I said neither. She asked what I felt. I said empty. Empty isn't nothing, she said. I've been going to the gym 5 days a week. I've gained back most of the weight I lost. I look healthier. People have stopped asking if I'm okay. But I'm not sleeping better. Still 4, maybe 5 hours a night. I wake up at 3 a.m. and stare at the ceiling. I think about her. I think about Ethan. I think about the party. I think about lying in the dark after surgery, waiting for a text that never came. My friend invited me to Thanksgiving. I said yes, then canceled the morning of. I spent the day watching old movies and eating takeout Chinese food. My mother called. I didn't answer. I saw her sister again. This time at a grocery store. We were in the same aisle. She saw me first, started walking toward me. I turned and left my cart and walked out of the store. I drove around for an hour before going back to get the cart. It was gone. Last week I opened the lockbox, took out the ring. I held it up to the light. It caught the sun from the window and threw little rainbows across the wall. I thought about selling it. I looked up jewelers who buy back rings. I called one, made an appointment, then canceled. I'm not ready. I don't know when I will be. My therapist says there's no timeline for grief. I said, I'm not grieving. She gave me a look. What am I grieving? I asked. The person you thought she was. The future you thought you'd have. The version of yourself who believed in both. I didn't go back to therapy for 2 weeks after that. Update 2. It's December now. Almost a year since the surgery. I went home for Christmas. My mother cried when she saw me. My father asked if I was eating enough. My brother asked if I was seeing anyone. I said no. We didn't talk about her. But she was there anyway. In the questions nobody asked. In the careful way they avoided certain topics. In the extra place at the table that wasn't set. On Christmas Eve, my mother found me in the kitchen at midnight. I was drinking water and staring out the window at the snow. Do you want to talk about it? She asked. No. Okay. She stood there for a minute. Then she said, you know, sometimes the hardest thing is realizing that love isn't always enough. I looked at her. Your father and I almost didn't make it, she said. Year 3. He was working all the time. I felt invisible. We went to counseling. It was hard. But we both showed up. That's what mattered. We both showed up. She showed up, I said. She picked me up from surgery. And then she left. I didn't say anything. That's the part that matters, my mother said. Not whether someone shows up once, but whether they stay. I flew back on the 26th. My apartment felt colder than I remembered. I turned up the heat. It didn't help. I've been thinking about what my mother said, about showing up, about staying. I showed up for her for 4 years. I stayed through every argument, every doubt, every moment when it would have been easier to leave. But in the end, I left without warning. I disappeared. I didn't give her a chance to fix it. Was that fair? My therapist says fairness isn't the right lens. She says sometimes self-preservation looks selfish from the outside. I don't know if I was preserving myself or punishing her. Maybe both. On New Year's Eve, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. Hey, it's me. I got a new phone. I know you probably won't respond. I just wanted you to know that I'm seeing someone, a therapist. She's helping me understand what happened, why I couldn't see it. I'm not telling you this because I want you back. I know that's not possible. I'm telling you because you deserved better than who I was, and I'm trying to become better. Not for you. For me. I hope you're okay. I hope you're happy. I hope someday this doesn't hurt anymore. For both of us. I read it 3 times. I typed a response. Deleted it. Typed another. Deleted that too. I turned off my phone. At midnight, I stood on my balcony and watched fireworks in the distance. People were cheering somewhere. Someone set off car alarms. The city was alive with celebration. I felt nothing. Update 3. January came, the anniversary of the surgery. I didn't think about it until the day of. I woke up and checked the date and realized. 1 year. I went to work. Came home. Made dinner. Sat on the couch. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered without thinking. Hello? Hi, it's me. I froze. I'm sorry, she said. I know I shouldn't call. I wanted to check on you. It's been a year since the surgery. I don't know if you remember, but I remember. Silence. How are you? She asked. Fine. Are you really? I didn't answer. I think about that night all the time, she said. How I left you alone. How I didn't see it. How I didn't understand what it meant. Why are you calling? Because I need you to know that I get it now, what I did, what it cost. Okay. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm not asking for anything. I just needed you to know. Okay. Are you happy? She asked. I thought about it. I don't know. Me neither. More silence. I should go, I said. Wait, can I ask you something? What? If I'd stayed that night, if I hadn't gone to the party, would we still be together? I closed my eyes. I don't know. You don't know, or you don't want to tell me? Both. She laughed. It was sad. Fair enough. I have to go, I said. Okay. Take care of yourself. You too. I hung up. I sat there for a long time. The apartment was quiet. The heating was too loud. The walls were too white. I opened the lockbox, took out the ring, held it in my palm. It was just metal and stone. It didn't mean anything anymore. I put it back. I thought about calling her back. I thought about what I'd say. I thought about forgiveness. I thought about second chances. I didn't call. I went to bed, slept 6 hours, woke up and went for a run. Life kept moving. Finale update. It's March now. Almost 9 months since I left. I sold the ring last week. Got less than I paid for it. I didn't care. I took the money and donated it to a charity that helps surgery patients who don't have family support. It felt right. My therapist says I'm making progress. I sleep 7 hours most nights. I've started dating, nothing serious. Coffee with a woman I met at the gym, dinner with someone from work. I'm not ready for anything real. They can tell. I can tell. But I'm trying. I ran into her last Tuesday. Actually ran into her. Coffee shop. She was leaving as I was entering. We literally collided. Sorry, we both said at the same time. Then we looked at each other. Hi, she said. Hi. She looked different. Lighter somehow. Her hair was shorter. She was smiling. How are you? She asked. Good. You? Good. We stood there. People walked around us. I'm glad I ran into you, she said. I've been wanting to tell you something. What? I'm moving. End of the month. New city, new job, fresh start. That's good. Yeah, I think so. She paused. I also wanted to say thank you. For what? For leaving. I know that sounds strange, but you were right. I wasn't prioritizing you. I wasn't prioritizing us. I was taking you for granted, and I needed to lose you to understand that. I didn't know what to say. I'm not the same person I was, she said. I'll never be that person again. And that's because of you. Because you had the courage to walk away when I couldn't see what I was doing wrong. I didn't handle it well. I said. I should have talked to you. Maybe. But I don't know if I would have listened. She smiled. I probably would have convinced you to stay, and then we'd both be miserable right now. Yeah. So thank you, she said, for knowing what I couldn't see, for saving us both. She hugged me, quick, brief. Take care, she said. You too. She left. I got my coffee, sat by the window, watched people pass by. I thought about what she said, about saving us both. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I saved anyone. I just know that I couldn't stay. And that had to be enough. It's not a happy ending. It's not an ending at all, really. It's just where I am. I'm in this apartment with walls I painted and furniture I picked and a space that's entirely mine. I wake up alone. I go to bed alone. I make my own coffee. I choose my own movies. I decide when to speak and when to stay silent. Some days that feels like freedom. Some days it feels like punishment. Most days it just feels like life. I don't think about her as much anymore. When I do, it doesn't hurt the way it used to. It's more like a dull ache, something I've learned to live with. My therapist asked last week what I want now. I said I want to stop feeling like I'm waiting. Waiting for what? She asked. I don't know, that's the problem. She smiled. Maybe you're not waiting. Maybe you're just living. Maybe. I'm 34, single, starting over. I don't know if I made the right choice. I don't know if there was a right choice. I just know I made a choice. And now I'm living in the space that choice created. Some nights I wonder what would have happened if I'd stayed, if I'd talked to her, if I'd given her a chance to change. But then I remember that night, the darkness, the pain, the silence. And I know that some things can't be fixed with words. I know that some hurts run too deep. I know that sometimes walking away isn't giving up. It's just choosing yourself. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that has to be enough. I'm here, alone, uncertain, still figuring it out. But I'm here. And for now, that's all I can ask for.